Hey, it's Madison Chase with Black Hollywood Live, and I am here on the set of Rosewood with one of the stars, the beautiful, talented, funny Gabrielle Dennis.
Aw, thank you, beautiful, talented, funny, fitness champion extraordinaire, hot mama.
Yes. Okay, we're both hot and we're brown. I love it. Now, I'm so excited for you, Gabrielle. Like, I've seen your career blossom, and now I feel like here is the beautiful butterfly that you now are becoming. So let's talk about your journey, acting classes to here. Like, let's talk about that journey.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, thank you. I started out in performing arts high school. So from fourth grade, I did it all: dance, drama, the whole background. You know, you had to be a triple threat growing up. And then I would say that I did that a little bit here and there, off and on. And then I would say I've been professionally acting for about 10 years since I moved to LA. I went to Howard University, and I didn't major in theater, but I minored in it.
Okay.
I actually studied TV production.
Oh, wow.
And then since being in LA, I done everything from commercials to theater. We did acting classes.
Yes.
Shout out to Tasha Smith. I also, most people probably recognize me from the game as Janae, the baby mama. And for the record, I never broke up the relationship. So for those of you that aren't on the Janae side, check the script, rewind. Let's play back the whole full episode, all the seasons. They were broken up when she came into the picture. And then I also did Blue Mountain State on Spike TV. Bring It On was one of the many Bring It On franchises. Which
You
was
sure
awesome.
did bring it on.
With Christina Milian, my good friend. Which, gosh, everybody on that show. Like, I'm really still good friends with all the girls. So that's
Spawn
really cool.
Chambers, was she a part of that franchise?
She was part of the franchise.
Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't the one that I was in. It was Christina Milian. I was also there with Megan Holder, who's on Born Again Virgins right now. My good friend Nikki Suhu and Rachel Brooks Smith and Holland Rodan, who's also, you've seen her on MTV Werewolf show, and she's doing great things. And Vanessa Bourne, directed by Billy Woodruff. And we've all been just kind of grinding and growing together. And then there's been so many like almost opportunities in this business. It's like you book a pilot, yes, but there's so many stages when you book a pilot. It's like first you got to get the audition.
Okay, that's good. Let's talk about this, because people, I think, don't know behind the scenes and what actually happens. And I'm sure it's actually changed from when you first started in the industry till now. So let's talk about that process.
Well, okay, so there's many phases to getting to this stage. So first of all, pilot season, as most people know, starts in like mid-January at the top of the year. And even though it's kind of not just all pilots aren't doing that anymore. As they used to. It used to just be from January to like April, but now pilots are being cast throughout the year. Anyway, I'll keep on talking and babbling. I get sidetracked. So you basically have to get the audition, then you go in and you hopefully make it to what they call the test. So when you get to the phase of the test, it's down to you and maybe 2 other girls, 3 other girls, sometimes 4 other girls, and then even that is now you got to knock out the competition because from there you've got to knock it down because there's a studio test and then there's a network test. So there's 2 tests that you have to go through. Now back in the day you would go into this small theater and it would be maybe 20 people in there in each round, but now they're doing it where you record one time.
That's it.
And that same tape goes to studio and network. So you either get the call that you made it to the next test or you don't. So you're sweating bullets because I think I got on this one, it was like, I did my test on like a Thursday or Friday, like a Thursday, and then I made it to the next round, but then I had to wait all weekend. And of course the call doesn't come at 8 o'clock or 10 a.m. No, it comes at like 5:57 in the a.m. and p.m.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Oh, gosh.
you sweat bullets the whole day and you're just like laying out. I'm just like, Lord, I don't know what's going to happen. And when I tell you I got that call, it was this rush of emotions. Like the first thing I thought was like, I'm done with pilot season. Because for all of us actors that have been through pilot season, it is a chaotic, crazy marathon. It's stressful. You're running all around the world. So when I booked it, that was my first thought. I was like, I'm done with pilot season, and I can take a nap. So after that, it's kind of like, okay, now there's all these other phases. Because once you book the pilot, that's no guarantee that you make it to this point. So it's like, you've booked the pilot. Now, okay, will the show go? Will they like the show? First, you got to survive the table read, because a lot of girls and guys have been recast on shows.
And we could talk about recasting, because Born Again Virgin, when I saw the girl that looks very similar to you, I'm like, oh my goodness, how did they find, like, her voice sounds different than yours, but the look, you guys could be twins.
Well, Megan and I, we worked on Born Again Virgin. Doggone it, I'm running all my resume. We did the Bring It On together.
Okay.
And Allison Faust, who's the showrunner on Born Again Virgin, also created and wrote our movie.
Okay.
So they always thought we looked alike on set. So it was a perfect marriage and timing. So I was like, you know what, that was great. I was so happy it worked out that they were able to get her. And like, you know, some people are like, wait a minute, we're confused. Wait, is that maybe? They're like, so many people have never been on IMDb are like, I had to go and do some research.
And I knew
so
it wasn't you because the voice is different. I'm like, that's not Gabrielle, but she looks just like you.
Yeah, it's so funny. But so then you book the pilot. You survive the table read, then it's like, okay, now we sit and wait to see if the show actually gets picked up after you shoot the pilot. So there's so many stages to a pilot. Then, okay, it got picked up, but how many episodes?
Yes.
And then, is the audience going to respond? Is it going to do well? Are you going to get canceled on episode 3 and you don't even make it to the 7 or the 10 or the 13 or whatever that you got picked up and ordered for? So there's so much like, and I just decided, enjoy the moment.
Yes.
You know?
I'm so glad you said that.
You have to live in the moment and enjoy, because regardless of what happens, it's a step in the right direction, and it's a new light shining on my career that wasn't here last year. So it's like, enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride, and even if nothing were to come of it, I accomplished something, and we have to learn to practice and to celebrate every single moment and every single accomplishment, because they're all awesome, no matter how big or how small. Everything that we accomplish that gets us on the path to where we're trying to go should be celebrated. And I've been learning to do that in the past.
That is so. I'm so glad you said that, because I recently went on a bridesmaid get together in Cabo, and I felt like people were spending so much time doing selfies and ussies, and I'm like, we're not even in the moment. Like, we weren't present. So I'm so glad you said that. So glad. So let's talk about your character, Pippi.
Yes.
That's an interesting name, because that's an interesting name and character. And there was a little surprise. So your fiance is Anna. So it is a different kind of alternative relationship. So how are you approaching the character of Pippi?
Well, what's so funny is Anna and I, the actress who plays TMI, we forget a lot of times that we're playing lesbians. Like, we completely forget. Like, we're just having a good time. Right. But what I love is that it speaks to how the writers approach these characters, which is what I loved the most when I read the script. It wasn't like, hey, I'm a lesbian. Look at all the lesbian things I can be about, and it wasn't like playing a stereotype, or it wasn't like we're only exist in the show because our characters are lesbians. We just happen to be lesbians. We're smart. We
beautiful.
Thank you. We're Rosewood support system at the lab, but we have our own lives outside of that as well. But it's interesting dynamic that we work together. We're working on trying to live together and get married and all that. So that whole dynamic, I think everyone, gay or straight, can relate to it. So I love that the writers didn't make a big hoopla about it. It was just kind of plopped these characters in this world for this hour, and we live with them, and we just accept who they are, and that's what I love the most about it. But Pippi's fun. She's in your face. She loves telling being all in her brother's business. I mean,
because he's single, right?
Yeah, she's the baby sister, but she loves to play the role of the bigger sister, giving him advice that he doesn't need, didn't ask for, but she really looks out for him, because the character Rosewood, what's so interesting about him is that as a private pathologist and dealing with death as a career choice, he had been so close to death from birth and having all of these health defects and issues with his health. He looks at life in a different way than the average person. So again, it goes back to what we're saying, living in the moment and appreciating life, and his character really, really appreciates life. But then you've got his sister and his mom who are like doting on him and who are always, afraid and nervous and worried about his well-being. So it's a very, what's most interesting about the show is, outside of it being a crime drama mixed with the medical drama, is it's all these relationships that we can relate to, be it relationships, love with a spouse or, loved one, or with family, brother and sister, and all those dynamics that go with that. And then Lorraine Toussaint to play our mother.
I know, that's incredible. That's great casting.
Yeah. So I was like, we got good genes. We got some good genes. So I was like, when I first got, I was like, wait. I was like, had to check, like, I'm cute enough to play Morris's sister? Okay, good. Because he was cast, obviously first. And to get that call was amazing. And I think we're just in great hands. I think the creator, Todd Harthan, and like all the team that he's assembled around us, we have a great team behind and in front of the camera. I think the two people that are leading the way and leading the charge, with Morris Chestnut, Todd Harthan behind the camera, like we've got good people who are leading the crew in the cast, and I think it's awesome.
So we want to make sure that we are live tweeting the day that it premieres. So how can we live tweet with you for Rosewood? on Twitter?
Hashtag Rosewood, hashtag I love to do Team Rosewood, because we're all going to be a team in this together, making this show a hit, because it's going to be fabulous. You're going to love it. And hell, hashtag Pippi, because it's a fun name. And your girl's going to do her thing and hopefully make you laugh. And that's what I love most, because you know my background is in like stand-up.
Comedy.
Yeah. So what I love about this is like I'm doing a 1 hour, but I don't have to stifle like being funny. And that's what I love the most, is that this show breathes like real life. There's moments that are funny, there's moments that are dramatic, and that's life. And even though we deal with death and that is our world, we're still human beings, and we can still have normal conversation around this situation that we do for a living, dealing with dead bodies.
So this is Gabrielle Dennis on Rosewood. We want to follow you on your Twitter handle.
Yes,
so what is that?
Twitter, Gabrielle Dennis, and that's my Twitter, and then Instagram is Gabrielle_Dennis.
Okay, you heard it here first. Make sure you watch her and live tweet with her. I'm Madison Chase. This is Black Hollywood, and make sure you tune into Rosewood on Fox.